The system told me to bully a poor college girl and help her turn into a villain early, but she turned out to be an incredibly soft pushover. I cornered her and forced a kiss, and she blushed and asked if I was going to make our relationship public. Her drug addict father stole her tuition, and she actually survived on one bowl of plain-boiled noodles a day to pay off his debts. The rich girl at school spread rumors about her being a call girl, and she just quietly submitted a handwritten explanation letter to the dean's office. I got so angry that I pinned her to the sofa and scolded her for half an hour, yet she just brought me a bowl of freshly brewed chicken soup, cautiously asking if it would soothe my throat. I completely broke down, faked my death in a car accident, and went back to my hometown to deliver food. However, 2 years later, a shrill cry rang out in my mind from the system. "Brother, hurry back! The sweet girl has become a business tycoon, and she's holding your ashes, wanting to drag the whole world down with her." No, what does her dragging the world down have to do with me? My delivery is about to be late. I sat on my e-bike, cursing into the empty air. The system was so anxious it started crying. "I'm begging you. Bai Zuiwei's darkness level has already exceeded 999. She just ordered a short sell on 3 multinational corporations and is currently preparing to bomb the Twin Towers in the city center. If you don't go back, this world will completely collapse." I took a deep breath, trying to reason with it. I spent 2 years painstakingly bullying her and she didn't even react. Now that I'm dead, why is she acting crazy? The system cried in despair. "It's precisely because you died. She thinks you were forced to die, and now she wants everyone to accompany you in death. I've already arranged a new identity for you. Transmission starting. Hey, my monthly attendance bonus." Before I could finish, a wave of severe dizziness hit me. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself standing in a luxurious conference room. I had an ID badge hanging on my chest, which read, "Bai Group President's Office Intern, Lin Xiao." Before I could even process the situation, a sharp, mocking laugh echoed in my ears. "Bai Zuiwei, why are you acting so high and mighty? Lin Zhao has been dead for 2 years, yet you're still guarding his ashes like they're some kind of treasure." I followed the voice, and the woman wearing flamboyant high fashion was none other than the rich girl who had slandered her, Xia Yanran. Xia Yanran. She was acting like a total drama queen, lolling back in her chair. "All my buddies said it. Lin Zhao was just a sponging loser back then. Now you're holding up our Xia family's project for the sake of a dead guy? Are you sick?" I frowned in annoyance. Back in the day, I was just completing my mission by being a school bully. How did I become a sponging loser in her mouth? At the head of the conference table sat a woman in a black suit. She kept her eyes down, absent-mindedly playing with a pure black box cutter. It was Bai Zuiwei. Over the 2 years, the timid, pushover quality had completely vanished from her, replaced by a suffocating coldness. "Miss Xia," Bai Zuiwei finally spoke, her voice as cold as ice. "What did you just call Lin Zhao?" Xia Yanran rolled her eyes and scoffed with a giggle. "I said he was a loser." "What? Am I wrong? If he hadn't died so early back then, I would have had my boys put a sack over his head and beat him up. Only a country bumpkin like you would treat him like a treasure." Bai Zuiwei stopped spinning the box cutter. She slowly lifted her head. Those eyes that were always red-rimmed were now bloodshot. "Very well." Bai Zuiwei stood up, walking step by step toward Xia Yanran. Xia Yanran was startled by her aura and braced herself, asking, "What are you doing?" "Lin Zhao doesn't like people cursing him." Bai Zuiwei's tone was calm, yet it carried a sense of madness. "He has a bad temper. He'll get angry if he hears you." As soon as she finished speaking, Bai Zuiwei suddenly raised her hand. Smack! A loud slap landed hard on Xia Yanran's face. Xia Yanran was knocked to the ground, screaming while covering her face. "Bai Zuiwei, you dare hit me? I'm the eldest daughter of the Xia family. Do you believe I'll have my brothers kill you?" Bai Zuiwei looked down at her, her eyes as if looking at a corpse. "Kill me? Good. I've been worrying about not finding anyone to go down and keep him company." Saying that, Bai Zuiwei raised her foot, the heel of her stiletto crushing down onto Xia Yanran's hand. "Ah!" Xia Yanran let out a blood-curdling scream. I stood in the corner, my scalp tingling. The system said nonchalantly, "See that? That's your incredibly soft pushover. She's a fire-breathing dragon now." I gulped, asking internally, "What do I do now?" The system said firmly, Calm her down. Lower her darkness level. Otherwise, Jia Yanran is about to become a cripple. I steeled myself, cleared my throat. It's not worth dirtying your hands for someone like her. Bai Juiwei narrowed her eyes, scanning me up and down. I don't know why, but when her gaze swept over my face, she paused noticeably. What's your name? I lowered my head, answering respectfully, Lin Xiang. Bai Juiwei was silent for a long time, slowly lifting her foot from Xia Yanran's hand. Get out! Xia Yanran scrambled to escape the conference room, not forgetting to glare at me fiercely before she left. Just you wait. Only I and Bai Juiwei remained in the conference room. The air seemed to freeze. Bai Juiwei walked up to me, so close that I could smell a faint, cold scent on her. Your tone of voice just now sounds a lot like someone. My heart tightened, and I chuckled awkwardly. Is that so? I guess I have a common face. Bai Juiwei didn't speak, just staring hard into my eyes. For a long time, she suddenly let out a light laugh. Since you're so good at talking, stay in the president's office from now on. Be my personal assistant. I was stunned. Bai Juiwei turned around, her back radiating an unquestionable pressure. Tomorrow morning at 8, I want to see you in the office. If you're 1 minute late, you can go feed the fish in the river. After she left, I completely collapsed into the chair. The system broadcasted casually, Villain darkness level is currently 999. Please keep up the good work, host. I cursed through gritted teeth. You call this good work? This is clearly me being sent to my death. The next morning at 7:50, I was standing exactly at the door of the president's office. Taking a deep breath, I knocked. Come in. Bai Shewei's voice was still cold enough to drop ice shards. I pushed the door open, finding her sitting behind the wide desk, staring at the computer screen. President Bai, good morning. I tried to make my voice sound like a competent worker. Bai Juiwei didn't look up, pointing to the side table. Go make a cup of coffee. No sugar, no milk. I acknowledged it and turned toward the break room. While making coffee, I grumbled to the system in my mind. She used to only drink plain water. She would hesitate even before drinking milk tea. Now why is she drinking this bitter sludge? The system sighed. Host, people change, especially after losing a loved one. A shift in taste is a normal psychological defense mechanism. I curled my lip. Don't give me those psychology terms. I just know this coffee is bitter enough to send someone to the grave. Carrying the coffee back to the office, I carefully placed it by Bai Juiwei's hand. President Bai, your coffee. Bai Juiwei took a sip, her brow furrowing imperceptibly. The water temperature was too low. I paused. Bai Juiwei put the cup down, looking at me coldly. Make it again. I took a deep breath, resisting the urge to splash the coffee in her face. Yes, President Bai. For the next hour, I ran back and forth to the break room 5 times. Either the temperature wasn't right, or the coffee beans were ground too coarsely. By the end, I even felt like she was doing it on purpose to mess with me. The system reminded me, host, stay calm. The darkness level is at 999. You're just an intern right now. You must endure for the sake of the mission. I gritted my teeth, placing the 6th cup of coffee in front of her. President Bai, try this one. Bai Juiwei took the cup, drank a sip. This time she didn't nitpick, just said faintly, barely drinkable. I breathed a sigh of relief, just about to step aside, when the office door was suddenly kicked open. Bai Juiwei, you need to give me an explanation today. A man wearing a floral shirt and a big gold chain walked in arrogantly. It was the second male lead, Leng Wuji. He was a typical aggressive, chauvinistic man who thought all the women in the world should revolve around him. Leng Wuji walked up to the desk, slapping both hands down on it. By what right did you cut off our Leng family's funding? Do you know who I am? Bai Juiwei leaned back in her chair, not even lifting her eyelids. Young Master Leng, this is the Bai Group, not a place for you to act out. Leng Wuji sneered, his eyes sweeping unscrupulously over Bai Juiwei. Acting so cold and noble, your dead ex-boyfriend has already turned into dust. You might as well be with me. As long as you say the word, the Leng and Bai families joining forces, the world would be ours. I stood to the side, listening and rolling my eyes. This dialogue is too cheesy. He really is the ultimate chauvinistic jerk. Bai Juiwei finally raised her eyes, looking coldly at Leng Wuji. Leng Wuji, do you think I don't dare to touch you? Leng Wuji burst out laughing, arrogantly pointing to his own nose. Touch me? Try it. Let me tell you, if you don't restore the funding today, I will. Before he could finish, Bai Zuiwei suddenly grabbed the coffee cup on the desk and threw it right in Leng Wuji's face. Ah! Leng Wuji screamed, backing away while covering his face. You crazy woman, you dare splash me! Bai Zuiwei stood up, pulling out a tissue, slowly and methodically wiping her hands. Get out! Leng Wuji pointed furiously at Bai Zuiwei. You just wait. I will never let you go. Saying this, he turned around and walked out. When passing by me, he glared at me fiercely. What are you looking at? Keep looking and I'll gouge your eyes out. I rolled my eyes silently. Are you sick? Leng Wuji's fist hung in midair. He gritted his teeth, glared at me one last time, and slammed the door shut behind him. The office fell silent again. I patted my chest, feeling lucky. Thank you, President Bai. Bai Zuiwei sat back in her chair, looking at me with profound eyes. The way you dodged just now was very practiced. My heart skipped a beat. Back when I was bullying her, I had practiced dodging her drug addict father's attacks. I used to practice Sanda, I said, making it up on the spot. Bai Zuiwei didn't follow up, just said faintly, Go clean up the coffee on the floor and then come with me somewhere. I paused. Where? Bai Zuiwei lifted her head, a flash of terrifying obsession in her eyes. To see the person most important to me. Half an hour later, I followed Bai Zuiwei to a private villa in the suburbs. The villa was heavily guarded. Not even a fly could get in. Bai Zuiwei walked in front, expertly typing in the gate code. With a beep, the heavy gate slowly opened. I followed her inside. Black velvet curtains were pulled tight. In the center of the living room, there was no sofa, no TV, only a huge crystal display case. In the case, neatly placed, was a pure black urn. Beside the urn sat a piece of my old jacket from back in the day and a $1 plastic hair clip I had randomly given her. I felt my scalp tingle. My legs felt like they were filled with lead, unable to move. What is this? I stammered. Bai Zuiwei walked up to the display case, her expression turning incredibly gentle. She reached out her hand, gently stroking the urn through the glass, as if she were stroking her lover's face. This is my Zhao, she said softly, in a tone filled with terrifying obsession. He was most afraid of the cold when he was alive, so I made him a temperature-controlled display case. That way, he would never feel cold again. I stood there, cold sweat instantly soaking my back. The system spoke slowly. Host, seeing your own urn, what are your thoughts? I roared inside. I don't have any thoughts. Is this woman crazy? What kind of sane person keeps an urn in the middle of their living room? Bai Zuiwei turned her head, looking at my stiff expression. Lin Xiang, do you think this case is beautiful? I forced a smile that looked uglier than crying. Be beautiful. President Bai is truly deeply devoted to Mr. Zhao. Bai Zuiwei lowered her eyelids, a bitter smile curling at the corner of her lips. However, he abandoned me. He would rather die than stay by my side. She suddenly looked up, her eyes fixed intently on me. Tell me, do you think he was cruel? I felt goosebumps all over, instinctively taking a step back. Maybe he had his reasons. Bai Zuiwei sneered and slammed her fist against the glass display case. Bang! The dull sound echoed through the empty living room. Reasons? What reasons could he possibly have? I gave him my heart, so why did he abandon me? She suddenly lost control, her eyes rimmed with red, looking like an enraged beast. I was too terrified to even breathe. The system chimed frantically. Warning! Antagonist's corruption level is fluctuating abnormally. Stabilize her immediately. I steeled myself and walked forward, handing her a tissue. President Bai, please calm down. Private matters aside, if you torment yourself like this, his soul will not be at peace. Bai Zuiwei slapped my hand away. What do you know? He isn't dead at all. My heart sank. My pulse skipped a beat. What nonsense are you talking about? Bai Zuiwei stared at me, closing the distance step by step. That car accident didn't even leave a whole body behind. There was only this box of ashes of unknown origin. I don't believe he just died like that. She suddenly reached out, grabbed my tie, and jerked me toward her. Lin Zhao, tell me, who are you really? We were so close that I could feel her warm breath on my face. My brain raced, searching for a logical explanation. President Bai, you have mistaken me for someone else. I forced myself to look her in the eye. I am just a fresh college graduate. My name is Lin Xiao. Bai Suiwei stared at me for a full minute before slowly letting go. Right, she laughed self-deprecatingly. He could never be as timid as you. I exhaled in relief. Just as I started to fix my messy tie, a commotion erupted outside. What are you doing? Let go of me! It was Jia Yanran's voice. Black-clad bodyguards dragged her in. Xia Yanran's hair was a mess and her makeup was smeared. She looked utterly disheveled. The bodyguard reported respectfully, President Bai, we caught this person lurking outside. Bai Juewei reverted to her cold-hearted persona. She walked to Xia Yanran and looked down at her. Miss Xia, why are you here at my house? Xia Yanran struggled to lift her head, glaring at Bai Juewei. Bai Juewei, don't get smug. Young Master Leng has agreed to help me. Your Bai group will be finished sooner or later. Bai Suiwei chuckled. Is that so? Let's see him try. She turned to me, her tone icy. Lin Xiao, go to the basement and get me a whip. I was stunned. Bai Zuiwei's eyes sharpened. What? Do I need to repeat myself? I swallowed hard and turned toward the basement. The system sighed in my mind. It's over. Looks like Xia Yanran is meeting her end today. Host, good luck to you. When I returned from the basement with the whip, Xia Yanran was still shouting, Bai Suiwei, dare to touch me! Young Master Leng said, as long as I get your company's secrets, he'll make me his wife. I felt a headache coming on. This Xia Yanran was a brainless green tea, boasting despite being used as a pawn. Bai Juewei took the whip from me and snapped it in the air. Crack! Xia Yanran shuddered, her arrogance instantly extinguished. Well, what do you want? Bai Juewei walked toward her, whip in hand. You just said Leng Wuji wants you to steal my secrets? Xia Yanran stiffened her neck. So what? The Bai family is about to go bankrupt. Bai Juewei sneered and turned to me. Lin Xiao, how do you think I should punish her? I froze, not expecting her to throw the question to me. The system warned, Host, this is a death trap. Answer wrong, and her corruption will skyrocket. I swallowed hard and spoke cautiously. President Bai, I think physical violence is illegal, and she's not worth dirtying your hands. Bai Xuewei narrowed her eyes at me for a few seconds. Then, in your opinion, how should we handle this? I took a breath. Since she came for Leng Wuji, why not send her back to the Leng family and tell him his pawn is too stupid? Xia Yanran grew anxious. Who are you calling stupid, you deadbeat worker? Bai Juewei's gaze turned cold. Shut up! She turned to me, a faint, imperceptible arc appearing on her lips. Fine, do as you said, strip her and throw her at the gates of the Leng family. Xia Yanran panicked and began to struggle wildly. Bai Juewei, you shameless! This is an insult! Let me go! The bodyguards ignored her and dragged her out. Silence returned to the living room. I exhaled, feeling my back drenched in sweat. Bai Juewei threw the whip onto the sofa and walked to the crystal cabinet. Lin Xiao, you are very clever. She stood with her back to me, but clever people often die the fastest. My heart tightened. President Bai, you flatter me. I'm just doing my job. Bai Juewei turned around, her gaze burning. Is that so? Then tell me, why did you shrink back the moment you saw that whip? I stiffened. Back when I played the villain, I often lashed the sofa to scare her. My body had reacted out of instinct. I'm afraid of pain. I made up an excuse. Bai Juewei sneered, stepping closer. Afraid of pain? You didn't say that when you were lashing the sofa back then. My mind exploded. She recognized me. Impossible. The system said my face and voice were changed. I feigned composure, looking at her with confusion. President Bai, what are you saying? I don't understand. Bai Juewei reached out and grabbed my chin. Her fingers were icy and her grip was powerful. Don't understand? Lin Zhao, did you think a new face would make me unable to recognize you? My heart hammered, but I stood my ground. President Bai, you really have the wrong person. My name is Lin Xiao. Bai Suiwei stared into my eyes as if trying to pierce my soul. After a long time, she released me. Fine. If you won't admit it, we'll play a game. She walked to her desk and tossed me a file. This is a redevelopment project the Leng Group is fighting for. I want you to win it in 3 days. I took the file and gasped. The project was massive. Even the Bai group would struggle. Asking an intern to negotiate this was a death sentence. President Bai, go! Bai Zuiwei cut me off coldly. If you fail, prepare your own funeral. She walked upstairs. I stood in the empty room, wanting to cry. The system sighed. Host, just prepare for the worst. Leng Wuji is a psycho who stops at nothing. If you fall into his hands, you won't get away unscathed. I gritted my teeth and tightened my grip on the file. Fine. If she wants to play, I'll play to the end. The next 2 days, I spun like a top. To win the project, I scoured every bit of information available about the city. Leng Wuji learned that Bai sent a nobody like me to compete, and he didn't take me seriously at all, bragging publicly that he would make me kneel and beg. On the third night, the bidding conference was held at the city's largest hotel. In a cheap, borrowed suit, I stood out like a sore thumb in the grand ballroom. Leng Wuji swaggered over with a glass of wine and a flirtatious companion. Leng Wuji? Isn't this Bai Xuewei's dog? He scanned me with disdain. What, your president couldn't come today? Too afraid of losing? I took a deep breath and kept a professional smile. Young Master Leng, you joke. President Bai is busy, so I am handling this small project. Leng Wuji's expression shifted. He slammed his wine glass down. Bang! Glass shattered everywhere. People around us turned to look. Leng Wuji pointed at my nose. Who do you think you are to speak to me like that? Do you believe I'll destroy you right here? I stepped back to avoid the shards. Young Master Leng, this is a public place. Please maintain your decorum. Just then, Xia Yanran joined in. She had changed, but her arrogance remained. Young Master Leng, why waste words on this trash? He's just a dog Bai Zuiwei keeps. Hitting him would dirty your hands. Xia Yanran clung to Leng Wuji's arm, cooing, This project is surely yours, young master. Leng Wuji laughed smugly. Naturally. Once I win this, let's see how that bitch Bai Zuiwei continues to be so arrogant. Seeing their faces, I sneered inwardly. The system asked anxiously, Host, are you sure about this? If you lose, Bai Zuiwei will really kill you. I replied, Relax, the fun is just starting. The conference started. Leng Wuji confidently made an astronomical bid, drawing gasps. He looked at me smugly, as if victory were already his. When it was my turn, I didn't offer a price. Instead, I turned on the projector, revealing a detailed geological survey of the old district. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, pointing with a laser, my survey found massive sinkholes and underground rivers here. Following standard development plans would cause a disaster. The room erupted. Leng Wuji stood up and roared, Bullshit! That's a total lie! Your malicious rumors are meant to sabotage the bid. I looked at him calmly. This report is from the National Geological Survey Institute, with their official seal. Feel free to verify it if you doubt me. Leng Wuji turned pale, staring at the seal on the screen, unable to say a word. I continued. The Bai Group's plan uses this report to apply advanced reinforcement technology. While costly, safety is priceless. Without suspense, the Bai Group won. Leng Wuji smashed his chair in rage and stormed off with Xia Yanran. Afterward, I stepped out of the hotel. A black Maybach stopped silently before me. The window rolled down to reveal Bai Xuewei's freezing face. Get in! I obediently climbed in. Bai Xuewei leaned in, grabbing my collar. That geological report was classified, only the original team knew about it. She stared into my eyes. And the one in charge back then was Lin Zhao. I froze. My mind went blank. Damn it, a single oversight. I was so focused on sabotaging Leng Wuji that I exposed my identity. Bai Zuiwei saw my panic and wore a twisted smile. Zhao, you finally slipped up. The air in the car froze. I was forced to stare into her obsessive, insane eyes. President Bai, you've really misunderstood. I forced myself to be calm. I found this report in an old archive I bought at a used bookstall. I swear I don't know any Lin Zhao. Bai Zuiwei sneered and tightened her grip. A used bookstall? Do you take me for a child? She released my collar and stroked my cheek. Her icy fingertips slid down my contour, making me shudder. Zhao, don't you know? When you lie, your eyes always flicker to the bottom right. My heart sank. She remembered a tiny habit even I hadn't noticed. The system shrieked, Host, your cover is blown. Blown. The antagonist's corruption is wildly unstable. Prepare to be dissected. I swallowed, attempting one last stand. President Bai, many people look alike and share habits. You can't just call me Lin Zhao because of mere coincidence. Bai Xuewei stayed silent, just staring at me. After a long while, she began to laugh. The sound echoed in the car, spine-chilling. Fine. If you won't admit it, we'll play a game. She turned to the driver. To the mountain road. My face changed drastically. Why are we going there? I asked. The winding mountain road. It was the place where I died in a car accident 2 years ago. Bai Xuewei looked at me, a frantic light flashing in her eyes. To relive the scene where you abandoned me all those years ago. The Maybach sped through the night, quickly driving onto the rugged mountain road. Outside the window was a bottomless abyss, and the cold wind howled by. Stop the car, Bai Xuewei suddenly said. The car pulled over at the sharp turn where my accident happened. Get out, she commanded coldly. I steeled myself and pushed the door open, standing at the edge of the cliff. The cold wind made me shiver uncontrollably. Bai Xuewei walked to my side, pointing at the pitch-black abyss below. 2 years ago, you fell from right here, she said, turning to stare fixedly at me. Lin Zhao, if you really aren't him, then jump down now to prove your innocence. I widened my eyes in disbelief. You're crazy! Jumping down would kill me! Bai Xuewei pressed closer, forcing me to the very edge of the cliff. Didn't you say you weren't him? If you aren't him, then if you die, I won't feel a thing. Her eyes were icy, devoid of any warmth. My heels were already hanging over the edge. If she pushed me just half a step further, I would plummet into the abyss. The system was pacing back and forth. Host, hurry up and admit it! She really will push you! I gritted my teeth, staring death at Bai Xuewei. Bai Xuewei, you are absolutely unreasonable. Why should I die for a dead man? Bai Xuewei's eyes sharpened, and she shoved my shoulders hard. Then go to hell! The moment I lost my balance, I instinctively screamed, Bai Xuewei, you crazy woman! I shouldn't have cared about you back then. As soon as the words left my mouth, my wrist was suddenly gripped by a pair of ice-cold hands. Bai Xuewei lay on the edge of the cliff, clutching my hand, tears streaming down her face. Zhao! She cried and laughed simultaneously like a child who had found a beloved toy. I knew it! It's you! You finally admitted it! Hanging in midair, looking at her tear-streaked face, my heart was a mess of emotions. Can you pull me up first? My hand is about to break. Bai Xuewei pulled me up with all her might. As soon as I landed, before I could catch my breath, she tackled me to the ground. She straddled me, her hands tight around my neck. Lin Zhao, why did you lie to me? Why did you leave me behind? Her eyes flickered between madness and agony. I couldn't breathe, struggling to pry her hands off. Hey, let go! The system announced. Warning! The antagonist's corruption value has reached a critical point. Host, take immediate, extreme measures to appease her. My mind went blank. Looking at her face inches from mine, I took a gamble. I lunged forward and bit her lip hard. Bai Xuewei shuddered, and her hands loosened instantly. She stared at me in disbelief. I took the chance to flip her over, pinning her down. Bai Xuewei, you've got some nerve. Daring to choke me? Do you think I won't deal with you like I used to? The air went silent. The system softly chirped. Antagonist corruption level decreasing. I was stunned. That actually worked? I looked at Bai Xuewei under me, my brain briefly short-circuiting. Moments ago, she was trying to pull me into the abyss. Now she was as quiet as a kitten. She was panting slightly, teeth marks on her lip from my bite. Her bloodshot eyes were fixed on me, strangely sparkling with excitement. Zhao! She called out, her voice impossibly soft. Could you scold me again? I was going to lose it. Are you a masochist? I climbed off her, frustrated, dusting myself off. I used to scold you every single day. Did you enjoy that? Bai Xuewei sat up, smoothing her messy hair. She looked at me with a twisted smile. As long as it's you, I love anything you do to me. I was so shocked by her words that I broke out in goosebumps. The system excitedly shouted, Host, I found the blind spot! Her corruption spiked because you left her! As long as you maintain that arrogant, domineering attitude, she'll feel you're still with her, and the corruption will drop. I twitched my lip. What is this? Some kind of Yandere Stockholm syndrome? I put on a cold face, looking down at her. Why are you still sitting there, waiting for me to help you up? Get up and drive me back, I'm hungry. Bai Wei didn't get angry. Instead, she nodded obediently. Okay, I'll take you home. She stood up and naturally linked her arm with mine, as if the life and death struggle on the cliff never happened. Back at the suffocating private villa, Bai Wei led me straight to the basement. I stared at the heavy iron door with a bad premonition. Why are you bringing me here? Bai Wei entered the password. The door opened to reveal a luxurious room, but with no windows, only a large bed and a thick iron chain. Zhao, you lied to me for 2 years, she said, her eyes dark. To make sure you don't run away again, I have to lock you up. I widened my eyes and turned to run. You're crazy! This is illegal detention! Bai Wei was fast. She shoved me onto the bed and locked the chain to my ankle with a click. Be good, Zhao! She leaned down and kissed my forehead. As long as you stay by my side, I'll give you whatever you want. I pulled at the chain with all my might, but it didn't budge. Bai Wei, take this off right now. Do you want me to die resisting? She ignored my threats and turned to leave. I'll go make you dinner. The sweet and sour ribs you love. The iron door slammed shut with a dull thud. I collapsed on the bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling hopeless. System, what am I supposed to do now? The system laughed. Host, just think of it as a vacation. Anyway, as long as you scold her twice a day, the corruption will drop. It's easy. I rolled my eyes. What do you know? This is a loss of personal freedom. Half an hour later, Bai Wei brought food in. She placed it on the nightstand, scooped up a spoonful of rice, and held it to my lips. Zhao, open your mouth. I turned my head away and said coldly, I'm not eating. Are you throwing a tantrum at me? I turned my head away sharply. I just don't want to eat the food you make. It tastes awful. That chicken soup you made 2 years ago, I almost threw up after one sip. You think your cooking has improved since then? Bai Wei froze, looking at the bowl in my hand. The system announced, Antagonist corruption value -5. I felt a surge of joy. It really was working. Bai Wei set the bowl down. Instead of getting angry, she asked timidly, Then what do you want to eat? I'll hire a Michelin chef to make it for you. Seeing her act like a punching bag filled me with inexplicable irritation. I don't want to eat anything. I just want you to get out. I grabbed the pillow and smashed it against her. Bai Wei caught the pillow and looked at me deeply. Fine, don't be angry. I'll go. She turned and locked the iron door behind her. Over the next few days, I went into full-on self-destructive mode. If she brought me water, I complained it was too hot and splashed it. If she brought me shoes, I kicked her away. Shockingly, the worse I treated her, the faster her corruption dropped, from 999 to 500 in just a few days. But I felt worse and worse inside. Watching her clean up spills, climb back up after I kicked her, or ask if my hand hurt after I slapped her, I felt like total scum. Life in the basement was endless. I spent my days tormenting her. Bai Wei, this water is too cold. Are you trying to freeze me? I smashed the glass. She didn't say a word, just crouched to pick up the shards. Ouch! She cut her finger and blood welled up. My heart sank, and I reflexively wanted to pull her hand away, but my logic forced me to stop. The system chimed, Antagonist corruption value -2, current value 200. I gritted my teeth and said coldly, You're so clumsy, you can't even pick up glass. Bai Wei looked up. Her eyes weren't angry, only filled with obsession and longing. Zhao, as long as it makes you feel better, I don't care. She stood up and wiped her wound with a tissue. Leng Wuji is making moves. He's teamed up with Xia Yanran to impeach me at tomorrow's shareholders meeting. I was stunned. Impeach you? Because of them? She walked to the bed and touched the chain on my ankle. They got a hold of my psychological evaluation from 2 years ago. They claim I have severe mental illness and am unfit to lead the Bai group. After I died, she really did go crazy for a while, I thought. What are you going to do? Bai Wei chuckled, a hint of ruthlessness in her eyes. If they want to play, I'll play big. She leaned into my ear. Zhao, tomorrow, I'll take you to see a good show. The next day, she unusually unlocked my chain and put me in a sharp black suit. Remember today, you aren't Lin Zhao, you're my assistant. At the meeting, Leng Wuji and Xia Yanran were already there, smug and victory ready. Leng Wuji sneered. President Bai, you really don't see the coffin until you see the tears, do you? This meeting is just for you. Bai Xuewei sat at the head of the table. Leng, talk quickly. I'm busy. Leng Wuji slammed the file down. Look, this is her mental evaluation. She's a paranoid schizophrenic. Are you sure you want a madwoman running this company? The room erupted. Xia Yanran chimed in. She's ruined this company for a dead man. The Leng family will inject capital if she's removed. The shareholders looked uneasy. The system said, Host, the antagonist is losing. Want to help? I rolled my eyes. How? I'm just an assistant. Bai Xuewei stayed calm. Leng Wuji, you think you've already won? She snapped her fingers. The door opened and police officers walked in. Mr. Leng, Miss Xia, we've received reports regarding commercial fraud, theft of trade secrets, and organized crime. You're coming with us. Leng Wuji's smile vanished. Impossible. I'm the young master of the Leng family. The officer replied, The Leng family was sealed last night. Your father is already at the station. Leng Wuji collapsed. Xia Yanran screamed. Bai Xuewei stood up. I've said it before. Anyone who touches my people pays the price. The room went silent. The shareholders were petrified. Anyone else have an issue with my leadership? No one dared to speak. Back at the villa, she dropped the act. Zhao, I'm so tired. My heart softened. System, antagonist corruption value at 50. Almost there. I suppressed my pity. Tired? You ruined people's lives and you're tired? I kicked the sofa. Get up and get me some water. She didn't move. Instead, she hugged my waist and buried her face in my stomach. Zhao, stop acting. Stop acting, what are you talking about? She looked up, her eyes clear. In the meeting, the look you gave me wasn't hate, it was worry. You don't hate me, do you? I was pushed against the wall. Don't flatter yourself, I hate you. I hate that you're a punching bag. I hate that you locked me up like a madman. She smiled and touched my cheek. Do you know why I became like this? When you died 2 years ago, my world ended. I thought you died because you hated me. I clawed my way to the top just to be worthy of you. She cried uncontrollably. Zhao, tell me, what must I do for you to like me? Hearing her sob, my defenses shattered. I hugged her back. Stop crying. I have never hated you. She looked at me in disbelief. Really? I smiled helplessly. Really? System. Host, you're crazy. The corruption value is going to bounce back. I ignored the system. Bai Xuewei, completing the mission. My death 2 years ago was also because the mission failed and I was forced to leave. She was silent for a long time, then asked softly, So, you doing all this wasn't because you hated me? Then, have you ever liked me? Looking at her, the girl who asked if my throat was dry 2 years ago merged with the businesswoman today. System. Antagonist corruption value is 0. Congratulations, mission complete. I sighed in relief. Stop crying. You'll look like a little kitten. I wiped her tears. Will you leave again? I shook my head. No. The system confirmed I could choose to stay in this world. She smiled through her tears and kissed my lips. Zhao, I love you too. A month later, I was lounging on the sofa playing games. She looked up from her files. Zhao, check this document. I rolled my eyes. No way. I'm the golden canary you locked in the basement. Canaries don't work. She laughed, walked over, and snatched the console. What kind of canary orders its owner to cook and do laundry? What, you unhappy? I can leave. She pinned me down and straddled my lap. I'm happy. As long as you're by my side, I'll do anything. I pinched her nose. You said it. I want sweet and sour ribs tonight. She nodded. Deal. The warm sunlight filled the office. I hugged her, listening to her steady heartbeat. We finally dropped all our masks. The system sighed. Seeing you two so happy? I laughed. She rested on my shoulder. If you're not good one day, I'll just lock you up again. I sighed. I guess the Yandere trait won't go away, but who else would I love? The end.